Okay. We're just getting started. And if you have a couple of breaks, they might be useful for today's class. Today's aim is to stretch every single muscle you have in your body. Um, and then I'm going to give you a long-ish shavasana at the end. So should be all relaxed by the end of the hour. We're going to start in a seated position. And again, props by your sides. Anything that you know you usually need. There's nothing in particular that you might need today. Just what you know usually helps your body adjust into positions. Starting in any comfortable seated position, rest your hands either on your thighs, in your lap. Find that comfortable but solid sit. Lengthen through the spine. Maybe close your eyes for a minute. Take a nice deep breath. Settle on the mat. And as you breathe, feeling that rooting down your mat, imagine you're a plant underwater and it's at the bottom of the ocean, well rooted into the ground. And just imagine how the plant moves in the water. Exactly like your spine, it lifts, maybe it moves from side to side gently, but the root is there, it doesn't move. The plant never leaves. Maybe stay with that image of being grounded for one more minute. And all you need to do is breathe. And even if the water moves you around, you always tend to move upwards, but keep your roots into the ground. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You can do a blurb of the lips. If your eyes were closed, you can open them. And we'll start with a side body stretch. Have your left hand on the floor. Bring your right arm up and then gently slide the left fingertips and bend to the side. So think more of a reach rather than the side bend. And play here. Can you stretch a little bit longer? How do you want to have your shoulder? Is it back in its pocket or do you want to stretch a little bit more? There's no must here. Find something that feels good. I'm going to hold that for another 3 breaths. Find a position that's comfortable for your neck. And breathe into that part of the body that feels the stretch now. The breath has the ability to reduce tension if you use it intentionally. Let's slowly come back up. And switching sides, hand down, the other arm straight up. And then start to slide the hand away from you. reaching with that arm overhead, but you still have that rooting into the floor. You're still that water plant that doesn't move location. It can resist the movement of the water. Let's do one more big breath here. I'm gonna slowly come back. Bring your hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, and have the hand above your neck. Bring the chin to the chest. Gently bow your head down. The hands are not there to push, only to add weight, help gravity. Breathe into your neck, part of the shoulders. Maybe notice how the stretch extends down from the neck in the area with the shoulder blades. And send a few nourishing breaths there. Also notice how the stretch changes as time goes by. Big breath in, big breath out. Release your hands. Gently bring the head back up. Bring your hands behind your back. Keep them together. Take the hands all the way to the right. Drop the left shoulder. Give it a moment to stretch nicely. And then slowly take the right ear towards the right shoulder, increasing the stretch in the neck. And breathe. Throughout all these stretches, most of the time you can keep your eyes closed. Once we remove the input comes through our eyes, can focus internally a bit more. Two more deep breaths here. Then look down towards your right knee. Start to roll the head towards the center. And when you reach the center, you can lift the head. Move, maybe release your hands just for a moment. And then you're going to switch sides. Hands together again. Bring them all the way to the left. Drop the right shoulder. Give it a stretch first. Get used to the sensation. And then left ear towards the left shoulder. Breathing here for 5. See if the right shoulder lifted for any reason. Encourage it to relax again. Big breath in. Big breath out. Looking down towards the left knee. Rolling the head towards the center. And then slowly lift it up when you reach the middle. Release your hands. Let the shoulders settle for a moment. And then you have the option to go for simply reaching for your elbows with your hands. If you practice reverse prayer, you can go for reverse prayer. So the hands come together. And you flip so that the fingertips reach up and then go up your spine. So choose the version that you want to go for. I'm gonna give it about a minute here. If you have opposite hands to opposite elbows, I'm just gonna tell you halfway through to change which one is on top of the other. If you are in reverse prayer, it will become an intense stretch, but it feels so good for the shoulders. If you're holding opposite elbows with opposite hands, change which one is on top. If you're in reverse prayer, just hold it for another 5 deep breaths. Big breath in and big breath out. I like to do this just to tell my body that it's a transition is coming. Gonna slowly release, especially if you're in that reverse prayer. Give it a moment, come out of it slowly. And if you are in reverse prayer and you need to stretch the wrists, bring the back of the palms together. Just give them a reset. And then a shake. Coming into hands and knees. If hands and knees is uncomfortable for any reason, we're going for cat-cow, so you can do cat-cow seated too. If you're coming with me in hands and knees, hands on the shoulders, knees on the hips, you can have the tops of the feet down. Inhaling to drop the belly, lift the tailbone, look forward. Shoulders roll away from the ears and you're pushing the chest through your hands, feeling the stretch in the belly. And then as you exhale, tuck your tail, run through the spine, chin to chest, press the floor away. Belly button comes in towards the spine. Let's do 3 more rounds. And you can stop and take a full breath in each of them if you want. Or you can stick with one movement per part of breath. But sometimes it's nice to see what does an exhale feel like when you're in cow or an inhale in cat. So simply complete the one you are at right now and come to have a neutral spine. I'm gonna step forward with the right foot. Come up in a lunge with the hands on the right thigh. Lift the chest, but drop your tailbone so you feel the stretch in the front of your left thigh. Then maybe bring your arms overhead. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. And maybe you want to increase your lunge here. Drop the hips lower and breathe. If you want an option for your arms, you can bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and bring the hands away from you. Chest opens, and you would try to get the hands down your left thigh. Just gonna give it 2 more breaths here. If you are in that back bend, just come out of the back bend and have your legs more in a 90-90 angle. So your hips will be just over that back knee, just finding more support, more stability. Bring your left hand outside of the right knee. Twist towards the right. Bring the right arm out with the palm facing up, and maybe you're looking towards the right fingertips. If that doesn't work for your neck, you can just look out to the side. And let's give it 3 breaths. Keep the hips square, belly in, and make the twist from your belly button. Big breath in, big breath out. Back through center. Hands down or on bricks. Here you might want to use your bricks. And extend that right leg forward into a half split position. Just bring the heel forward until the leg is straight. The toes are up towards the ceiling or even towards you. Bricks under the shoulders, and either stay upright or you can fold forward. I'm gonna give it about 7 big breaths. Try to relax your face, especially in these poses that are challenging for many of us. Don't add any more tension with your thoughts or the muscles that we simply forget about, like the muscles of the face. Unclench the jaw. And here for the last 3 breaths, you can take it into a twist. Keep the left hand down either on a brick or on the floor. Twist towards the right, and then either bring the right arm up or into a half bind, so behind your back, and reaching towards the left front pocket. Open the chest out towards the right and have that right shoulder guide you, lead the way. 2 more breaths here. And then that big breath in. And maybe a sigh out through the mouth. Back through center. And from here, just slide that heel slightly back. And then come to sit down on that left heel. Might need a break here to put under the right side of your bum. Or you can simply sit on the floor. If this doesn't work for you for any reason, what we're going to try to do is stretch the front of the leg. So an option would be to come on the belly with the left knee bent and bring the heel to your bum. If you are in that position, you can stay where you are. You can come back on your forearms. Or even all the way down on the ground. If you're going for the ground and the left knee lifts, you can prop it so it's still supported. If you're doing the quad stretch on your belly, just hold that knee, press the hips forward. And wherever you are, let's settle and breathe. Three more. Big breath in. And big breath out. If you're on your back, come first on the forearms and then up on your hands. If you're on your belly, come back and we'll just move back into hands and knees where it all started. If you need to wiggle the left toes a bit, you can tuck the toes and simply sit back on your heels for a moment. And then we'll come back into hands and knees. And this time stepping forward with the left leg. Up in that lunge with the hands on the thighs. Tuck your tail, lift through the spine. You're that water plant again. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Tucking the tailbone and then deepening your lunge until you feel the stretch in the hip. Breathing there, an option then to bring the hands overhead. Or if you've done it on the other side, you can interlace the fingers again, bring the hands behind the back, open the chest, mini back bend here. Big breath in. And big breath out. Coming into a neutral position with the legs. The hips are over the back knee, finding a stable position. And then right hand outside of the left knee, left arm out, reaching behind you with the palm facing up. Open the chest, twisting towards the right, and either looking out to the side or behind you towards those fingertips. Breathing for 5. Big breath in, big breath out. Back to center. Reach for your breaks if you need them. Left heel comes forward, stretching that left leg. Toes up towards the ceiling. And that might be enough for you of a stretch or folding forward over that leg. The left heel digs into the floor. And imagine you're sliding it towards you. It's a gentle intention of movement. Of course, it doesn't slide, but you'll feel the stretch. If you notice that the sensations start to fade away, fold forward deeper. If it becomes uncomfortable, take a step back. And then if you've taken the option with a twist on the other side, you can try it on the left too. The right hand stays down, twisting towards your right. Open the chest. You want to do this with a straight spine. And then left hand either out towards the ceiling, up towards the ceiling, or in the half bind, and having the left shoulder lead the way, opening the chest towards the left. We're only pausing here for 3 big breaths. Big breath in. And clear it out. Back through center. Now, if you took the option on your belly for the quad stretch, you can do the same on this side. Otherwise, come to sit back, either on your right heel or all the way on the ground. And then make space on your mat to be able to go either on the forearms or all the way on your back. You can stay upright, of course. I'll take a few breaths here. If you're on your belly, remember to push the hips into the floor, tucking the tailbone slightly under to feel the stretch more in the hip and that front of the leg. And breathe. Remember, the breath is your friend. It clears tension. It helps you cope. It calms you down. controls your heartbeat. Last two. If you're all the way on your back, come on the forearms and then the hands. And then come into hands and knees, tuck your toes, and sit back on your heels for a bit. Take a nice deep breath in and long breath out. If you have your bricks with you, try an option for your down dog. We're going into down dog next. Try to have your hands on your bricks, especially if when you're in down dog, your heels don't touch the ground. Try it like this. If you don't want to use the bricks, that's also an option. So into hands and knees, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips up. And just make sure that if you're using the bricks, they don't slip. And see if now your heels are any closer to the ground. If you're doing this without the bricks, I want you to still try to get the heels on the ground, even if your spine will round slightly. We're using down dog today to stretch the calf muscles. So that's our focus, getting the heels towards the floor. If you started with the bricks and then you want to remove them, see if it changed your down dog in any way. Gonna give it a couple more breaths here. And take just one step forward. And then step forward with your right foot. And then when you come with the left forward, bring the leg behind the right. So you're crossing your leg. The legs are crossed and the right one is forward. Just like this. And you would be in a forward fold with your legs crossed. We have the right one forward. If you need to use your bricks here, do so. If you need to be a little bit higher, and then maybe as the stretch changes, you can fold a little bit deeper and change the height of the bricks. Allow the crown of the head to go down towards the floor. And breathe. Now cross your legs. Have the feet hip width distance apart and fold forward. Can keep the knees bent. And imagine you want to take your sitting bones up toward the ceiling. So if you're starting to straighten the legs, it's not by unbending the knees, but by bringing your bum up towards the ceiling. Might feel that the spine starts to feel it, the muscles start to lengthen, and you'll feel that sensation. Now bring the feet together again, and this time we're going to cross the left over the right. So the left will be forward, stay still in the forward fold. Use the breaks if you need them. They will help you get more from your pose. Two more breaths in this fold. And then you're gonna take the legs back to hip width distance apart. Straighten the legs as much as you can, even if the spine will round, that's fine. And then bring the hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. Allow the head to hang heavy. Bring the elbows towards each other and then towards your knees. If they can touch the knees, start to slide them up on your thighs and allow the spine to round. In this position, your whole back from your heels all the way up to the top of your head, everything on your back is stretching. If it feels claustrophobic in any way, please let it go. So we're aiming to get the elbows on the knees, and if they reach, then start sliding them up on your thighs. Take it one more breath here. And release. And we'll do one more forward fold. This time take your legs just as wide as your mat and fold forward. Last two breaths here. Lift the tailbone high. Allow the neck to be completely relaxed. Okay, bring the feet back to hip width distance apart. Lower the knees on the ground. Sit down and bring your legs forward. Bend your left knee, bring the sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh, and then take the stance wider. Imagine this as being a half straddle rather than a narrow forward fold, and you feel this in your inner thigh of the right leg. You already feel it. And then the spine here, flex the toes of the right leg. And then turn towards the left knee. You're turning away from the straight leg. Gonna fall forward over that left knee, keeping the right heel into the ground. If you feel that you're not stable enough, shimmy a bit. Maybe you need to make the stance just a little bit shorter. I'm gonna fold forward over that left leg. I have my hands out in front and to the sides to keep me in a stable position. Still feel the stretch in the right inner thigh. 3 more. Come up. Bring your right hand on the inside of that right calf. Open your chest out to the side. Lift the left arm and it goes up and then over your head. Palm facing down. Stretching that side of your back that we haven't just reached yet through the other forward folds. This is always very intense for me. Like there are no other poses that help me really get there. Still flexing that right foot. Two. And one. Lift yourself up. Let the shoulders go. Release any tension. And then let's switch to the other side. Starting with the legs straight. Then bend the right knee. Bending the right knee right now should feel really good. And then open out. Have your wiggle your seat until you feel stable. And then we're going to turn towards the right knee, away from that leg that's stretching now and folding forward. Go back to that breath that helps you. Big breath in. And long breath out. Coming back up, going into that side stretch. Left hand on the inside of the left shin. Open the chest out to the side. Lift the right arm. Bicep next to the ear, palm facing down, reach away. Chest stays open. Last 3. Coming back up. Help that knee come in. Coming into a cross-legged position. Bring your hands forward and we'll stretch the fingers one by one. So start with any hand that you want. Start with the thumb. Pull it towards you. And second. Third. Fourth. And pinky. Changing hands. Thumb first. Index. Third finger. A ring. And the little one. Release, bring the back of the hands together, stretching the wrists. Then interlace the fingers, roll the wrists. And reverse. Give it a shake. Gently lean the head back, do it really slowly, and then try to access the muscles underneath the jaw by trying to bring the lower part of the jaw up. Now I'm asking you to clench your jaw. Slowly release, bring the head back. Moving on the back, on the mat. Have your knees bent, feet on the floor. And then cross your right leg over the left. So knee on top of knee. And then bring both knees towards your chest. You can hold the back of the left thigh, or you can hold your feet and pull them towards you. Whichever works better. Now we're stretching part of your right glute, part of the hip. Slowly release and switch sides. Lower the feet, then cross left over right. Bring the knees towards your chest. Either hold the back of the right thigh or the feet. Slowly release. Lower the feet back down. Bring your right knee to your chest. And then flex and point the toes of your right foot. Trying to feel the stretch in the front of the foot as you point. Maybe wriggle your fingers. Give them a squeeze. Then imagine you want to squeeze a tennis ball with your toes. Do that. So if I have, instead of my foot, my hands, I'm making a fist. Just from the toes, just motion from the toes. And then roll through the ankle and change direction. And lower the foot. Left knee to the chest. Start to flex and point. Feel the stretch each time. And then imagine the same motion of the wriggling of the toes. You're trying to squeeze a tennis ball with your toes. Let's do that a few more times. And then roll to the ankle and reverse. Release the foot down, lengthen your legs, and now take a full body stretch. Release and settle for your Shavasana. Get your props, anything that will help you be comfortable. You stretched a lot of your body, so now it's time to let everything settle and take in the benefits of that stretch. If you're staying for the meditation, you can stay where you are. You don't have to come up as I'm taking the others out. Let your body hang heavy. Allow the mind to wander. Make sure your full body is relaxed. The neck is comfortable, the shoulders are comfortable. There is nothing underneath your back that's disturbing you. Feet floppy, arms floppy, face relaxed, jaw relaxed. And then pause in that silence for a few minutes. We'll be back to take you out of Shavasana. If you want to continue on with your day, you can start to wiggle fingers and toes. Take a stretch or anything that will feel good for your body. And then slowly, in your own time, make your way to a seated position. If you want to continue and meditate with me, you can stay where you are. Once you're in seated, just go back to that visual of the water plant. Sitting bones rooted into the ground. Even if the spine moves side to side, it always tends to go upwards and you're still grounded. Take a nice deep breath in and out through the mouth. Take your hands in prayer in front of the heart, bowing chin to chest, and giving yourself gratitude for taking the time to practice. And as always, I thank you for being here to practice with me. Namaste.